Welcome to another episode of Jonathan's Bakery. This is the recipe I used. I got it from my mom's friend. Her name is Alma. She cooks a lot. The ingredients I used were Crisco, flour, pumpkin spice, eggs, cinnamon, pumpkin, condensed milk, salt, and water. I guess you could count that as an ingredient. The pumpkin pie filling recipe I used was on the back of the can. I preheated the oven to 425 degrees for 15 minutes, and then I switched it in the middle of cooking to 350 degrees for 35 minutes. This is me putting the pumpkin pie into a bowl. I realized soon that a fork wasn't going to get everything out, so I switched to a spoon. Same case here. Started with the fork, switched to a spoon eventually. Put that all in the bowl. Um, yeah. Egg one, egg two, drop the shell. Pick that up. Pumpkin spice seasoning. My hand got in the way for most of these shots, so I set it out. Salt. Mix it slowly. Eventually, it looked like that. Time for the crust. The crust was a pain, man. Flour, 1 cup of flour, 1/3 cup ish of Crisco. I think that's 1/3 cup. Some salt. Added too much salt. You see me in a second pinching it out, putting it in the sink because it was too much salt. Did this little technique until it was like a gritty something. I did a little bit more butter, Crisco, whatever, just to make sure it's enough. And added water, 4 tablespoons of water. I think I didn't know if it was a tablespoon measurement, so I just kind of guesstimate. Added some flour on parchment paper, not parchment paper, wax paper for the dough. Put the dough on. First time around, I was scared, man, if I'm being honest. I didn't know if it was going to be a dough, if it had enough water in it. So, yeah, I did that. Turned into a ball. Then I spread it all out like this using a rolling pin, which was super difficult. But, flipped it over, put it in the pan. Eventually, yeah, I forgot to oil the pan. So I just take the whatever out, oil it. I tried putting it back in. It fell apart. So yeah, I had to redo the whole process all over. This took me like 30 minutes just to make the crust. So that was fun, man. It was fun. I wasn't gonna take any chances here, so this is my other way of trying to do it. Flipping the pan over. Just put the dough in. I tried to form a crust with my hands, and that's what it looked like. I put the filling into the pie, and then my phone died, so I couldn't get me putting it in the oven, but this is what it looks like in the oven. Okay, the timer went off. It's done. I checked it with a toothpick. It came out clean. Took it out. That's what it looks like done. And then I set it in the freezer to show. I'll be back with my review in a second. Welcome back. Let me adjust my thing. It's the next day. I give the pie all night to cool down and set in the fridge. Because last night I had the pie when it was hot, but it tasted really bad. So, let's wait till it was cool. Overall, I'd say the best thing about the pie was the crust. Crust turned out really well. I think it's everything you want in a pumpkin pie crust. It's flaky, buttery, salty. You can taste it. Has a nice crisp. I think I baked it perfectly. As you can see, I'll show it to you on the camera. As you can see, I tasted it. It's like my third take. So, yeah, good pumpkin pie, man. I thought I liked pumpkin pie better, but not really. If I had to change one thing, probably be the filling itself. I think I like apple pie or peach pie better. Peach cobbler is the best thing ever. Yeah, I mean, it's good. As you can see, this is what it looked like. Took me like 30, 45 minutes just to do the crust. So I don't think I'd make it again unless it was like for Thanksgiving or something special. Out of all the pies I've ever had, it's better than store-bought pies. I still take those mini pies from like McDonald's over this. But that's just me, my personal preference. So yeah, I mean, if you like pumpkin pie, I'd make it. I think the crust is the standout point. Um, it needs some whipped topping or something. Definitely, I give it like a 7.3 on my pie scale. Um, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Um, I appreciate you. Bye.